Hey, friend,
Hi, everybody.
we're back apart but together
Yes,
in the deep water.
deep water is good today.
Deep water is pretty challenging today. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, bring it. I'm ready.
You're ready. We're ready. We've got these new mugs, by the way. I'm loving the mug. It's a big mug, and I'm just gonna live with it, I think, for every episode. So, for those of you that are listening via podcast, it's our podcast logo mug. So I want to ask you, have you ever been on a girls' trip?
Oh, yes, I have. There's a story there. Go ahead.
There are stories. So, uh, a sec ago, a year or 10 or two, I was invited to go on my first girls' trip. And I was so thrilled to be invited. And I knew the person doing the inviting, but I did not know the other women.
Okay.
For me, this is very much out of my comfort zone. I am very much an extroverted introvert and new people, new experiences. I I like my safe little space, Christy.
Okay.
So,
I
uh,
feel like you're telling my story. Keep going.
so I was excited to be going. I
Okay.
was really, really grateful to have been invited. Um, and nervous.
Okay.
So went and you do the initial hi, nice to meet you. We all have this person in common. Let's go have a great time celebrating her because it was a significant birthday trip on which we were all going. And we settled in to our respective seats as we were traveling to our destination. And in fairly short order, keeping in mind that I only knew one of these women,
Okay.
they all started husband bashing because it was just us girls.
Oh, oh boy. Okay.
We were just letting our hair down. We're just
Mm.
gonna let it all out because it's just us girls. And I want to talk to you about that because in that moment,
Mm.
my perspective on these women and my perspective of the friend that had invited me
Mhm.
changed completely. And I would love to hear your thoughts on what it means to let your hair down and have it be just us girls. What does that
Wow.
look like?
Well, I guess you have to know who you're hanging around
Oh,
to start with.
right.
Um, m- my mother raised me well. She told me to be very careful about the friends you pick, that
Mhm.
it is okay to be extremely picky. And if you don't learn it when you're younger, you'll learn it when you're older. And my one lesson is negativity will breed corruption in
Oh,
relationships.
whoa. Okay, you're gonna go there. Go. Preach.
I had a similar story with that too. It was my very first girls' trip, and I didn't know a couple of them. Uh, I knew I knew 2 of them. It was like 6 of us,
Okay.
and the 2 that I did know, I went to church with, considered them great, deep, faith-filled women of God,
Yes.
and probably 3 hours into the trip, I just felt like I was not wanting any it to be part of it. I couldn't wait, and I did leave early, and I made sure I took my car. That was one thing I felt like God was like, "You're gonna need this. Take the car." Um, but it was the same thing. There was gossip, there was some slander, and I just sat back going, Oh my word, I didn't think that this is what a girls' trip was to be. Like you said, husband bashing. What? What? Talking about other people, that doesn't lift them up or encourage or bring it back to some wholesome conversation? What?
Right.
I went to bed early that night and I made a plan that I was gonna leave. I left the next day because I thought this is corrupt. This is like standing on the edge of a dry, cracked cement that was crumbling,
Mm,
and to get out of there. And I honestly, this sounds terrible, but I made an excuse because I just didn't wanna be around it. And I don't know, I just grew up thinking that you're supposed to edify, you're supposed to encourage conversation. Should you support people?
yes.
Should you pray for them?
Yes.
Do you need a venting support system?
Mm,
Yes.
ye-
Okay.
Yes, but my sweet Doug the dog is back here,
I love it.
distressed by noises in the house. So we're just gonna have to work around
Love it.
spotted crazy Cajun. You know what, Christy? I might want to challenge you on that.
Okay.
Can I challenge you?
Please. Yeah.
I don't think anywhere in scripture it tells us to vent.
Okay.
It's something that I have learned over time that I have purposefully sought out to learn over time.
Yes.
Um, I think we get to vent to God.
Yes. Agree.
I think you are absolutely right that we should have a space where we can seek wise counsel.
Mhm.
And if by venting you're saying you should have a space where you can go to someone whom you trust, that
Right.
knows you and knows your heart, and can say, I'm struggling in this scenario with this person. I'm not able to resolve it with them directly in this moment. Can you guide me?
Yes. That
If
but
that,
that's the most perfect solution and appeal.
I think we as a culture are so satisfied with complaining,
Mm.
especially about other people, to other people about other people.
Oh, yes.
I think we're so accustomed to it that, like we were talking last week, we don't take time to consider
Mhm.
the ultimate ramifications of just us girls.
That's true. That is true. And you're right, venting is not, but I love ha the word counsel
Mhm.
because it's done with tact,
Yeah,
and it doesn't corrupt somebody else's character, and it doesn't resolve anything. Venting does not really resolve anything. It just leads to, um it could lead to a lot. It could lead
yes,
to anger, could lead to vengeance. It could lead to something that is not, um, good
right?
in thought, in mind, or deed.
So I want to add, because I think it's important for me that we don't know the totality of the circumstances of the
Mhm,
other person. So I could, in the moment, be very frustrated with my husband, for example. And I call up my girlfriend, Christy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Christy, blah, blah, blah.
mhm,
Nasty, 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 ugly, ugly, ugly. And my friend Christy's like, oh, I know, that's horrible. And he's horrible. And poor you.
mhm.
And an hour or 24 or 72 hours goes by. And I learned that that thing isn't actually a thing at all. That
Oh,
behavior was part of a bigger scenario that I did not understand in any way, shape, or form. So now I made myself feel better in the moment because
right.
I went and complained to my girlfriend Christy, and she loved on me and she cared for my wounded heart, and that was great. But now you think differently about my husband.
I was just gonna say that. It changes the heart posture of
And
how I could look at your husband respectfully, um, of, wondering some other things that may not even be true.
it opens Pandora's box.
Yes. Oh, so good. So
It
good.
really does. And um I am I'm an advocate for psychotherapy in a very specific and limited environment.
Mhm.
Why I say that in this moment is because if we all focus on the problems, which there is a I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but there is an actual faction of psychotherapy that's talk therapy.
Okay.
And I think it's good to talk through things. I'm someone that talks through things
Mhm.
by writing. So I'm not trying to deny or negate the validity of that. But if we're only talking about the broken things, then our focus is on the broken thing.
Mhm.
If I'm only telling my girlfriends about the difficult moments in the relationships with my husband or my children, even, but let's stick to marriage because I think it has a special sanctity to it.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
If I just keep talking about the hard thing, if I just keep talking about the bad thing, am I forgetting the grateful part?
Mhm.
Am I talking the broken to death to the point where my lens and my filter is just the broken?
Mhm. I feel that it's saying what picture are you wanting to really paint here on this canvas called your marriage? What
Yes.
picture are you wanting to be talked into having an unhappy marriage? Are you like, what is the actual watercolor that you're putting on what are you painting?
Yes. How much is modern convenience part of this?
Mm, that's a
If
good question.
if you and I as women can go out and earn our own wage and pay for our own life, and there is not an understood need of spouses for one another. I wonder how flippant we are in marriage, both men and women,
Mhm.
if we don't need one another.
That's not how the design was meant to be.
If we're not, again, last week is just rolling through my brain, but like if we don't consider the covenant of marriage,
Right.
it's not necessarily about my happiness or your happiness. It's not about David's happiness or Brigham's happiness.
Mhm.
What if it is about our holiness?
Mm. That's what it is.
Wait,
Just
really?
got something there. Marriage is so that ultimately you can help Brigham because you're not responsible for his happiness. But together, you two become holier in the sight of God. In what union, the unity of marriage, and the sanctity of a man and wife are
Right.
to be. and that's beautiful. God wants us to look holy, and if we have corrupt words coming out of our mouth about that other person, we are doing everything other than that.
What, Christy, remind me, mostly because I don't have my glasses on right now, so I can't even read my notes. So now to throw it back at you. But I know in Proverbs, we had talked about in Proverbs, God tells us about what we should say.
Yes, yes. There's power in the tongue. Is either life or death. Or
So
is that the one you're talking about?
I think, yeah, that
The tongue has
how
the power of life and death.
it really the tongue is such a sharp sword, and not just in tone, because you could look at your puppy dog, you could look at that very frustrating, it has not yet been house trained and it's eaten 12 socks today and it's torn up the blinds. You could look at that puppy dog and you could say, "You were just the dumbest, most frustrating puppy dog I've ever seen. I
Mm.
really, really, really don't like you. I really wish we'd never ever gotten you. Aren't you just horrible?" That tone
Uh-huh.
says, "I love you."
Mm.
But the words I've just spoken are death.
Mm. Mhm.
I don't, I really don't like this notion of lambasting my husband because it's hard for me.
Mhm.
Gosh,
It's not to be that way at all, at all. I think when we get back to, like, letting our hair down in atmospheres that feel safe, right? It feels like we are in a place where whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, or whatever that.
right? Whatever happens on a girls' trip stays on a girls' trip.
But it really doesn't. It lingers when everybody goes home.
And here we are at least 15 plus years later, at least for me,
Yes.
that I still have the tarnish
Mhm.
of that memory.
Mhm.
And so I wonder if I ask you, you can ask me, what if Brigham and David were sharing their grievances about us with one another?
Mm.
Would we be okay with that?
No, I would not be okay.
I would not be okay. I would be incensed. I would be like, what the heck?
Well, thank goodness that we're perfect.
Right?
We have no worries. Come on, no worries. I just wanna leave a little note real quick. In
Yes.
Galatians, it says that we are to carry one another's burdens.
Oh,
That but I love what you say because venting is not in scripture. Carrying one another's burdens doesn't mean that you know everything. You don't need to know all the details. You just need to know how you can pray with that person, how you can help them, or are they really just asking for a hug?
absolutely.
Mhm,
Um, I just I want to make it really, really clear to our audience that I am not excusing overtly unacceptable behaviors here.
mm,
If you are in a marriage or a relationship that is abusive,
mm,
that's not venting. Going to someone and saying, "I'm in trouble. This is not okay. I am being harmed." That is not what we're talking about here.
mhm.
What we're talking about here is that he didn't pick his socks and underwear up off the floor for the umpty squat bazillionth time today. That's or whatever
Yes.
non-life threatening struggles. That's what we're talking about here.
Mhm.
Um, it is not lost on me that there's a very predominant filter today that says if I don't feel good about it, then it's wrong. And having my husband reflect the mirror of God back at me
Mm.
when that mirror hurts, correction is not meant to be joyful, Christy.
Right.
If I'm being a spoiled brat and my husband holds that mirror up,
Mhm.
it's my responsibility to then take that to God,
Yes.
not go to my friend Christy and be like, oh my gosh, can you believe what he said?
Right.
And then have you jump again on the Jackie Pity Party train. Like, no.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, offense is the bait of Satan.
Ooh, yes, it is.
And we have a really, really slushy space in society right now that says anything that is not 100% okay with me is offensive.
Mhm.
How do you stay in a healthy marriage with that kind of a lens?
That's a very good question. I
You
don't know that I have an answer for that.
you don't. If we all get around the circle of girls, the circle of women,
Mm.
and we've got our coffees, our teas, our cocktails. Here's another thing, so monkey brain sidebar right now. I I enjoy a glass of wine or a cocktail. We believe very much in the acceptability of a moderate consumption of adult beverages.
Okay.
What I will tell you is that it is a very slippery slope when you're with your girlfriends, even a girlfriend.
Mhm.
Anything that dulls your mental acuity, and alcohol does that.
Mhm. Or it loosens your tongue.
Uh, I think it's something that we should be mindful of
Yes. Mhm.
because we're meant to build one another up, especially within the covenant of marriage.
Mhm.
It is our job. Gosh, I did not know this as a precept in my long life as a Protestant. So you're going to have to respond to what I'm about to say. This is not correct.
Okay.
Um, I recently read in one of my very Catholic devotionals that our jobs as wives, my job as a wife is to get Brigham to heaven.
Okay.
I'm not literally responsible for his salvation, but my job is to support his journey as a man
Mhm.
in his relationship with Christ such that it facilitates him getting to heaven.
Exactly.
I did not understand that
Okay.
before. Is it your understanding that this is a universal Christian experience or call?
I think that it is something that used to be.
Okay.
It's gone by the wayside. One,
Why?
because marriage has gone by the wayside.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
It's so easy to not be in it to win it. It's so easy to talk yourself out of it because there's so many independent women these days that, "Hey, I don't need a man to do this," or, this, that it hurt too much the last time, so I'm just gonna stay single forever, and I don't really need that guy. But the guy that God brought to you,
Right.
hello, hello. But I will say this, he is your brother in Christ.
Mm.
And if you have aught with your brother, you should still go to him, even being your husband, because you want him to go to the Father. You want him to say, "Help me."
Mm.
because I cherish this woman that you have put in my life, that I treasure everything that we've been through, and I don't wanna end up doing all of this with her, and then it's all for nothing. Where
Mm.
I'm bitter, where I wanna go and drink with my buddies and, just tell them every single thing of why she, is not the one for me, but I think ultimately the Bible says, "Do not let any corrupt talk come out of your mouth." Whatever you do, use what's happening in your life to build into and to build up. The goal is to make your husband look holier.
Oh, I like that.
So when he gets to heaven, he's going to look at you or vice versa, whoever gets there first.
Right.
And one, you're going to say, "Oh, we made it."
Yeah. Um, I think it is an undeniable truth that is so easily overlooked because we're such independent individuals, both men and women,
Mm,
that there is an infinite beauty in loving someone in and through hard moments, especially when those hard moments are part of that person that they're growing through.
mm,
That is
that's very good.
the love that builds over time is saying yes today and saying yes again tomorrow
Mhm,
and then saying yes again the next day.
mhm.
What more is it than that?
That's right. That's right.
Um, I don't know how we have more to say about marriage than it is the constant commitment to say yes
Mhm. And not slander.
and not slander
Yeah.
because that's not a yes, right?
Mhm. It's definitely not a yes. You're working your way towards a big fat no, and God says that that's not what He ordained marriage to be.
It is not. Um, I think one of the things that has helped me through some very, very challenging times in our 30 plus years of marriage, 29 years of marriage, right? We've been here a minute. And there have been really, really hard seasons where we looked at one another and thought, I don't know if we get out of this.
Mhm,
Um, the willingness to just say yes.
mhm.
And I guess it brings up the question, okay, well, what if you've been married more than once?
Which I have.
So talk to me about how God's grace covers,
Oh boy.
and that may be a totally different topic altogether, but how, like for today, speak to me really, really briefly about how you protect an ex from slander when it would be really easy in a broken ended relationship. It would be really easy to slander the other person. How
Boy,
do
boy, oh boy. Walked through that one.
how do you is it just a choice that you make? You just
Yes.
say, okay,
It is. And one of the main reasons why I deliberately made a choice, because it is, even when a marriage has died, um, and I will just preface that it always takes 2 to tango with that.
Yes.
Um, when the marriage dies, it it doesn't mean the everything about that person and the character and their personality and their heart that you once fell in love with has
Mhm.
died. The marriage has died. The person still lives
Oh,
in my
great.
situation. And having children, I wanted to leave a legacy that I was not speaking anything that wasn't the truth of the goodness of the man that God gave me to be the father of my children. And I will be honest with you, it was sometimes some of the hardest times where I wanted to justify by using my words,
Oh, okay.
and so that people could really understand the hurt that I was going through, because it did take somebody
Yes.
else to dissolve the marriage, but I made a point and I made a choice, and again, this is I was a strong Christian, feeling like there was a fall from grace, right? But I was as a strong Christian, and in doing that, I had to bite my tongue until I almost needed to sew it up in stitches. Um, and I know that there was blessing in it, and to this day, I see that in my children because they will say, Mother, mark my words. I mean, God knows if I'm telling you the truth right now or not."
Right.
That I kept it so that there would be no corruption coming from my mouth that would distort the reality of what actually happened and cause more harm than good for my children.
I think that is a beautiful lesson, and I think probably one that we should discuss more another time. But it brings back home with a very real point that whether it is the man I am married to today
Mm,
or the man I was once married to but am no longer, our call to action as women and wives is the building up.
mhm,
And what happens in marriage needs to be focused on the good and beautiful to the world at large.
mhm.
Because in doing so, it also focuses us on the good and the beautiful.
That's right. And that's worth talking about.
That is. Unfortunately, for today, I think we're going to have to wrap up talking about all the good in our spouses. Table that for some more next time. And Christy, I got to say bye for now.
It's so good to see you.
Likewise. See you soon.
Okay.